Quietly sleeping in the garage behind me is my 1985 Toyota MR2, and in this video I'm going to discuss with you historic vehicle tax and how I've just managed to save myself £350 a year by registering it as a historic vehicle. Come with me then, we'll talk about the car and the saga that I had in getting free vehicle tax on my Toyota MR2. Sounds simple on paper and we'll go through that, but I'll tell you one thing for free. It's been an absolute nightmare. Nice and easy to do then. What I did was I went on to the internet and printed out this. This is the guide for historic classic vehicles, MOT and tax exempt eligibility. And I'm going to go through it with you because, like I alluded to in the introduction, it was not as simple as just going through to the post office. This is what the government says. The date your vehicle was built or first registered affects whether you need to get an MOT and pay vehicle tax. And vehicles do not need an MOT if it was built or first registered more than 40 years ago. My Toyota MR2 registered May the 16th, 1985. And no substantial changes have been made to the vehicle. Now, MOT, that is a totally different argument. Some people would say, even though it's MOT exempt, you should still get an MOT on your vehicle. And I understand why. To check for roadworthiness, etc., etc. The argument is, and I'm not going to get too deep into this in this video, is that people that have got cars that are 40 years old or more know what they're doing. They cherish that vehicle. It's a classic vehicle, and so their maintenance schedule will be on point. Also, being a car that is 40 years old, they probably don't drive it as much, and it's a classic cherished vehicle, so should be nice and safe on the roads. You know that Dad checks out all my vehicles, but there is potential for that to be abused. I'm not going to get into that. You can comment down below and it might be a separate video. Should vehicles be MOT'd after being 40 years old, and when should the cutoff be? But I had to fill in this, which is the Declaration of Exemption from MOT form, the V112. But carrying on with the story about how, what you need to tax your vehicle, according to the government, if your vehicle was built before the 1st of January 1986, then you can stop paying vehicle tax from the 1st of April 2026. Hang on a minute, my vehicle was built, well, in 1984, according to Toyota. And I know that because my vehicle actually came into the country in 1984. I've got the little slip, I've got the thing that it came in on the ferry with for the tyres, showing that it was built in 1984, meaning effectively this time last year I should have been able to do this. However, I missed out because my vehicle was registered on the 16th of May 1985, and according to my V5 documents, that's how old the car was. Now, some people can get a certificate of build date. You can apply to the manufacturer to say, this is when my car was built. And I reached out to Toyota and said to Toyota, hey Toyota, my car was imported in 1984, but was registered just after the cutoff of April, so in May 1985. For me to tax my vehicle as vehicle exempt this year, and I need to wait another year just because I'm cutting off by a month. Any chance you can write me a letter to say that it was built in 1984? Toyota came back on email saying, yeah, absolutely, we can do that. For a fee, by the way, it will be £80. Now, for me to save £350 last year for the sake of £80 and enjoy my Toyota MR2, well, it was a no-brainer, wasn't it? I was potentially going to do that. So I told Toyota, hey, yeah, absolutely, let's do that. Please find the details and I will pay you the money. Kate from Toyota came back saying, Can you just confirm a few more details about your car, please, Mr. Coupland? Because we have found the number plate on the systems, but we can't find the documents because, well, we don't want to tell you that we've lost them, but we've lost them. So I've given them the details of the car and they've come back effectively a few weeks later and said, sorry, we've looked all over in, dusty corners and filing cabinets and we actually can't find the original details for your car. So we're not going to be able to do that certificate. But the good news is we saved yourself £80. So I was stuck at that point. I had to wait until, well, this April the 1st, to tax my car and register it as a historic vehicle. So if you do not know when your vehicle was built but was registered before the 8th of January 85, you do not need to pay vehicle tax from the 1st of April. So I've had to wait really for it to be 41 years old. Now, what must you do? You must apply at the post office. So you need to get your historic vehicle tax exemption. Your vehicle will not be exempt from vehicle tax if it is used for hire or reward. Well, it's not. I make YouTube videos, but I don't use it as a taxi and we don't lend it out as a prom vehicle, or it's used commercially for a trade or business. Well, hang on a minute, because, well, this is a business. John Coupland Cars on YouTube. Does that mean it's historically exempt? And after much soul searching and chatting with a lot of people, yeah, probably. And I actually contacted the DVLA and explained the situation and they went, that's fine. Eligible vehicles, cars, vans, motorcycles and tricycles, including large vehicles and buses, as long as the buses are for voluntary or community purposes and HGVs are not adapted for transporting goods or used for driver training. You can also apply if it's a crane, road roller, tractor, snowplow and a steam vehicle too. So that aside, and we've worked out that my car is now eligible, how do you apply? And this is the bit that was the difficult bit for me and has caused me a bit of a headache, which is why it's taken me about a month to get it sorted. What do you need? You need to take the logbook, the V5, in your name. Well, of course I've got that. I've owned this vehicle since 2007. Your vehicle tax reminder, if you've got one. Actually, my Toyota MR2 has been SORNed for the past couple of years because I haven't really been using it. Evidence of a current MOT. Well, I don't have that. I let my MOT lapse. Or evidence of your vehicle's exception from the MOT, the V112. Ta-da! Here it is, and you get to see that I am named after Dad. This is the certificate of exemption from MOT. It's the V112, and there is the number plate, B608MGY. I've had to sign it and say that basically what I'm telling you is the truth. So what makes vehicles exempt from MOTs? We've discussed this earlier in the video. What you think about this or not, this is the law. Evidence of an MOT test is normally required for taxing a car. If your vehicle is exempt from MOT testing, fill in the form and produce it when you tax your car at the post office. Well, actually, the lady at the post office couldn't give two monkeys about seeing that, but I was prepared with it, basically saying that I am in category R. Category R is printed on the back handily, and these are all the vehicles that are exempt from an MOT test. I'm not going to go through the whole thing in this video, this is about tax, but a vehicle other than a public service vehicle registered or manufactured 40 years ago, which has not been substantially changed in the last 30 years. Hang on a minute. What qualifies as substantially changed? Again, existential crisis. Well, a vehicle where the technical characteristics of the main components have changed in the last 30 years. So if you've changed the chassis, the body shell, the engine, or axle or running gear. So if you've changed the engine, technically you need an MOT. Is that a replacement engine, or is that an alternative capacity engine? It gets a little bit, woolly at this point. Changes are made to preserve a vehicle, and if they have been made to preserve a vehicle, must be declared. Okay, well, my Toyota MR2 was fully rebuilt in 1990, but with exact specification parts and has been welded. Is that a substantial change? No, probably not. But for vehicles that have been changed, this cannot be put into place. So what must you do then? On the day you want to tax, insure and MOT your car, you've got to do the following. You must go to the post office with an MOT certificate and an insurance certificate or cover note. And then the post office sends your logbook to the DVLA. This is where it got difficult for me because I went in and explained the situation at my local post office and the man behind the counter went, "No idea, mate." Absolutely no idea what you're talking about. And that is the sticking point for me. It's finding a local post office that knows what they're doing. My local post office closed down a couple of years ago and now I've just got a counter in my local one-stop shop. He said to me, if you need a new logbook, you need to fill one of these in, which is a V62 form. And that costs £25 plus a bit more because you've got to do a postal order. But I had my V5. My V5 I have got. He said, yeah, but if you need to get a new one, need to change it for historical purposes, you need to fill this form in. And after much toing and froing and going through the paperwork, I've gone, that sounds like a load of nonsense to me, and come home. And after another phone call with the DVLA, they told me, nope, that is incorrect. Go there with your logbook and your MOT certificate, exemption, your V112, and your insurance and everything else just in case, and they will do it for you. Anyway, the good news is the outcome from this story is I've finally gone and done it and saved myself £350. I'd gone to a city centre post office that seems to know this inside out and walked in and with all my documents and said to the lady, "Hi, I need to tax my vehicle." She's gone, "Yes, mate, not a problem at all. Have you got your V5? Have you got your reminder? Have you got everything?" I explained the situation and within about 30 seconds, ding ding, all done. She even taxed it from the beginning of this month, which is May 2026, for a full 12 months. There it is. B608 MGY, £0 and 0 pence, and it's actually already looking like it's going to update on the DVLA website. What a rigmarole. It's caused me a little bit of stress, actually, to try and do that. The first issue was the issue with Toyota and that little extra month of being the 16th of May 85 and not before April 85. Even though my car was built in 1984, Toyota seemingly have lost those documents. The second issue I had was, well, finding a post office that knew what they were doing. In fact, I actually went to a couple of local post offices, one in my village, my local one-stop, and another one in the town centre, who seemingly did not know what they were doing until I went and found somebody that knew what they were doing and has done this before. That's the second thing that I found was difficult. The third thing was getting through to the bloody DVLA. I was on hold for many, many hours trying to sort this out, speaking to the DVLA, and many times got cut off. But the good news is I am now able to enjoy my Toyota MR2. £375 saved. And hopefully that means that for now, I'm going to get a new V5 in the post. I've got my V5C, she's given me that, and a new one should be coming through the post. Anyway, I wanted to document my drama and how I got it sorted, and just talk to you about the fact that now my Toyota MR2 is tax-free. It's historic, hopefully, and it's exempt from MOT, and I shall be driving it this weekend to that show. Have you done the same thing? Have you had the same problem as me? And that's what I wanted to know. Did that help you get sorted? Or did you manage to get a build certificate from your manufacturer? There it is then, the saga of getting myself historically registered with my Toyota MR2. What's next for it? Well, I'm going to hopefully enjoy it a little bit more. In fact, I'm taking it out and about this weekend for a show in Oakham. So if you're heading to Classic Wheels at the Rutland Showground, come and see me. I shall be in my Toyota MR2. Don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, comment down below. What did you think? Did you have the same issue? Have you done the same, or are you going to do the same? If the video helped, let me know in the comments. Till next time, have a great day. Thanks for watching as ever. See you later. As ever, thank you for watching this video. Dad and I have selected a couple more videos for you that we think that you might like. They're here now. Just give them a click to watch them. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. It means a lot to us. Thank you.